right, so now we are going to use the data from example 4.2 to discuss a couple of kinds of analyses. The first one is what's called horizontal analysis. So horizontal analysis, this is also called trend analysis. Spell that right. So trend analysis is a type of financial analyst technique that's used to compare financial data over multiple periods. Typically like consecutive ones over months, quarters, or years. And really what we're doing with a horizontal analysis is we want to identify trends, patterns, or changes in financial statements. And so this is typically done in either two ways. It's done with a dollar amount or a percentage change. So one thing would be an absolute value. So this is how many dollars or how many units that we have to change, but we can also look at a percentage change. And since these are really across time, they're kind of useful to let us know what is happening right now. And so we are going to calculate that today, but we're going to be doing it with populations of African elephants to kind of see what's going on with those. So how does one do a horizontal analysis? Well, we got a couple steps. First thing you need to do is collect data. And so we have data, we have our populations of African elephants, and then the second thing we do is we're going to calculate the absolute change. Now this is going to be a straight out number. This is not a percentage or anything, so the absolute change. And since we are dealing with time periods, it's important that we have the right time period first. So we always want to deal with the most current period, the newest period. So we'll call it most current period. This is like the closest period to where we're at right now. And then we'll subtract from that the previous period. Now, the reason that we do it this way is we'll be consistent on the signs. If there is an increase from the past to the future, it will show as a positive number. If it's decreasing, it will show as a negative number. And so that would give us the absolute change. But if we wanted to do the percentage change is going to be, let's put the title here. So the way that we would do that is we take the absolute change, and then we divide by the previous period. Now this is going to give it to us in a decimal percentage, and actually let's put percentage change at the beginning there. It will give it to us as a decimal percentage, so if you get 10%, it would be 0.1. And so that's really all there is to a horizontal analysis. So let's go here. This is our data of our elephant population surveyed in 79, 89, 2007, 2012. And let's do a horizontal analysis. So let's track what has happened to the elephant population between 1979 and 1989. So I'm going to label this horizontal analysis. I do want a second line on this, so I'm holding the Alt key and I hit Enter to add a second line. So horizontal analysis 1979 to 1989. And then that's 3 lines, so I'll make that a little bit longer so we can make that 2. And let's format Painter that over so we get all the same. All right, so horizontal analysis 79 to 89. We're going to do this for each country, so we'll start with Angola. The most current period would be C2. We're going to subtract from that the previous period, which is going to be B2, and there we go. It gives us we've changed by 0 over that time frame. Now, we can sit here. We can't do the double click because there's no data in here, so we can just drag this down, and we can get all of the different changes for each country. So we can see Botswana went up 31,000 elephants over that 10-year period. And this is also where our conditional formatting comes in handy. Conditional formatting, 3-color scale, right there. So it immediately jumps out at us that the Democratic Republic of Congo has done a terrible job on elephants, and Tanzania is not so good either. But on the other end, Gabon, I think that's how you say that, and Congo have done fairly well. And so there we go. That's all there is to a horizontal analysis. So why don't you, right here, why don't you give this a try and do 1979. Let's go all the way to 2012. Why don't you guys give that a try, take a pause for a few minutes, and then come back and let's see how you did. All right, so let's go. We're doing 2012 to 79. Most current period is here. Subtract out previous period is here. And we get some depressing numbers, but there we go. We can drop our 3-color scale onto that also. And hopefully you guys have got the same numbers that we did here. Now, so this is the absolute. So this is the pure number of units. Sometimes this isn't the best thing to be using, because if you sit there and go, hey, our sales went down $1 million a year, that could either be, oh my God, $1 million, the company's going under, or it could be, it's only $1 million. Because if your company's sales are $10 million a year, $1 million is 10%. If your company's sales are $1 billion a year, oh well, $1 million is really nothing. And so that's where the percentage change really comes into play. So let's do the same thing over here. Let's horizontal analysis, percentage change, and we'll do that 1979 to 1989. And once again, let's make this a little bit wider. Let's do a format painter. And so let's go and calculate that out. Now, we calculate out first the absolute change, which we've already done. So we could just grab it from here, or we can just do it again. 1989 minus 1979, and then divide that by the previous period, so the 1979, 0% change. We'll drag that down. And so now these are all decimal numbers. If we want, we can throw down the percentage style, give it 2 decimal points, and so then we have a kind of better idea what's going on. And actually, we'll throw down the conditional formatting. So we do know in 79 to 89, by pure number, the Democratic Republic of the Congo is the worst. They lost the most amount of elephants. But on a percentage basis, if we look up here, Chad was the absolute worst, because they lost almost 80% of their elephants over that period. Now, on the flip side, we look at it, and before we went that Gabon had done the best with 62,000 elephants, but the Congo actually did the best on percentage, because the Congo increased their elephant population by almost 550% over that same time. All right, so take a couple minutes here, do the same thing. Do the percentage change between 2012 and 1979, and then come back here and check to make sure it's right. All right, so I'm assuming that you paused that, so let's go and do this. I'm going to drag this over and then just change the date so I don't have to do it again. And so this is going to be for 2012. And I'll do this one slightly different. I will just take the absolute change that we've already got, and I will divide it by the previous number. And we'll go and we'll drag that down. Same thing. We'll turn it into percentage format. We'll give it 2 decimal points. And then I will apply conditional formatting, color scales, and red, blue, green. All right, so now that we go and we look at this, Once again, this is not a financial transaction. We are looking at elephants, but if our job was to be worried about conserving elephants, we would be able to look at this stuff and go, well, Democratic Republic of Congo is down 93%. This is all like a descriptive analysis. What's going on? What's happening now? The data now. This is where we'd flip to a diagnostic analysis and go, whatever they did, we want to make sure that we're not doing that. So the Congo, actually, if we pop down here, Somalia, almost all of their elephants are gone. That's awful. We come up here, Central African Republic, once again, almost all of their elephants. So we'd want to look into what were they doing and how to not do that, how to make our company better. On the flip side, we'd be looking at Botswana and going, whatever that division is doing, we want that to be rolled out over the entire company, because look at it percentage-wise how much better it's doing than everything. So these are horizontal analysis. Like I said, these are typically financial statements. We're doing elephant populations. That's okay. So in the next video, we're going to do vertical analyses.